All right, and we are live. Welcome to House of Horrors, episode 139. I got Steven here, and our guest from the boy from below. We got Dylan Hughes and Spooky Madison. Thanks for joining us. How are you guys?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good.
What about
Thanks
you?
for joining us. So, how's your week been?
Pretty
I
good.
gotta.
Yeah.
So,
Holidays.
yes. How was your Thanksgiving? Good.
Yep. Plates
Nice.
full of food. I'm exhausted from just eating. So
Well, yeah. Did you get any of that bad weather that some places were getting?
not where I am.
You,
Oh,
Dylan?
I'm where I was at with my family. We got a little like just gloomy gray and some rain, which was enough to make me upset. But other than that, it was okay.
nice. So what got you guys before we get into the boy below a little bit? What got you into acting and directing all of that? Who's your inspiration?
Go ahead, Dylan.
So I this is gonna sound really silly, but I was watching Kung Fu Panda, and I'm like, I want to do voice acting. So that it's nothing like great, but Jack Black inspired me with the way
Oh
he
yeah.
like played the character, I guess. So it went from voice acting to acting classes to theater to short to feature, and here we are. So basically, it was just Kung Fu Panda.
Hey, Jack Black, whether he's acting, regular acting, or singing, is just awesome. Period.
Oh yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah. I kind of started in plays when I was younger, and that drive, that motivation to perform kind of transferred into my adult life, and I started into TV and film. Um, and it was pretty fun. I mean, when I was younger, one of my first gigs was in LA, and I got to go to an LA premiere, and I kind of caught the bug, and I started producing my own work last year officially with my own production company, Final Ghoul Films, and yeah, and now I do both. I am a filmmaker and an actor.
What
You're
was
doing the multi hat thing.
Always, you got to.
So you both started with short films first, I assume. I saw on your list still, and I didn't get a chance to check them out. I was trying to see what all you did. Where can we check out those short films that you've done? And is there any you recommend?
So a lot of the ones I've done, like the ones that I would recommend are on YouTube. My father's calling me. Go away. Um, so there's two that I would recommend. There's one called A Deadly Conversation. That's on YouTube, and then the one I really like is called My Inner Circle, and I only like it because I got to play Jekyll and Hyde, so that was really
Ooh.
fun. So and then there's also these are short films. There's a film me and Spencer did together called How I Got Here, and that one's on Flux Fusion Streams. That's actually where I met Spencer, and that's the three films I'd recommend watching. A lot of like passion went into those, and I had a lot of fun doing them.
Okay, nice. And how about you, Spencer?
Um, I didn't start with short films. I kind of jumped headfirst into features, but the ones that I had the most fun on, I did a movie called Phantom Fun World, which is on Tubi and
Mhm.
I believe Amazon. And then there's one called Wolf Hollow, which is on Tubi and Amazon. And I just finished a short film actually with Dylan. It's called Cold Feet, and that will be releasing to the public as a soft premiere on Monday, actually. And then, yeah, I think that those three are probably my top that you guys should check out. But I've done so many in such a short amount of time that probably in the next 6 months I would have different answers.
That mask, by the way, in Phantom Fun World was kind of something unsettling about it. Just simple yet unsettling to me. I have a thing about
Yeah.
masks, so big fan of them.
Yeah, it was very Scooby-Doo almost.
Have you ever worked in that kind of environment, or just in the actor, like a fair or anything like that? Or what jobs have you worked before acting?
I worked at a movie theater.
Ooh.
Okay,
Yeah.
same here. Movie theater, video store.
Yeah.
What was yeah, I forgot what I was saying. You got anything to say, Echo? I'm sorry, I just lost my train
No,
of thought.
I was rubbing my goatee. I like, sorry, I got a
You
long
looked like you were
goatee. And I
pondering
like
there, like you were
no,
about to.
I'm at that stage with my goatee. I've been doing this too much as of late because when you got a long goatee, it's too tempting not to do one of these, which I know annoys people when I do it. So I'm sorry if this gets annoying. It's just a bad habit of mine.
No problem. So what can you go ahead and tell us about the boy from below? About your character.
So I play Quinn Albright. She is a girl who is obsessed with movies, and basically she kind of Dylan actually plays one of my best friends in the movie, and his character kind of tries to help my character. My character Quinn is going through a rough time. It's Halloween weekend, and he decides to bring in an old friend that he thinks is a good idea to kind of reacquaint us, essentially. And he doesn't realize that that's kind of an issue because my character was actually in love with this person, and then they had left, and it kind of my character was a little salty about that. So Dylan makes a mistake, and throughout that whole drama between our friend group, we're actually being chased by the boy from below. His name is Colin Miller, played by Jack Norman, and yeah, I mean, it's a very multifaceted group of characters. We all kind of have a lot going on, and I mean, Tori Jones took a lot of effort to create these characters and make them as four-dimensional as possible. So, yeah, my character she's not like how I am in real life, which I'm excited about. She's softer, she's a little sad, and yeah, it'll be cool to play someone else for once.
And Dylan?
So, again, my character's name is Big Dan. He, in a one word to describe him is kind of like inappropriate. He's very brash and he's very out there. He says things that he might think is correct, but it's kind of like one of those characters where it's like wrong place, wrong time. You shouldn't say that, but he just does it because that's what he believes in. And yeah, and Quinn and Big Dan are really good friends, and he does bring this character in. And there's this whole little debacle. But from what I've kind of figured out about this character, and when I read him, I've kind of fallen in love with him because he is one of those characters is like you really get annoyed by him, but you love him at the same time. It's like I hate you, but at the same time, fuck you, I love you. And I think the thing with these characters, and like Spencer said, Tori took a lot of effort to make these characters, so it's not one of those like if someone was to die, it's not a throwaway. You will feel it, no matter who it is. And I'm really excited to bring these characters to life and have this dynamic really flow. And yeah, Big Dan's just a goof. That's the best way I can say it.
Nice.
Well, it sounds like a lot of people I've actually have met. So I think that's going to be a favorite character of mine because I've met quite a lot of people like that.
Nice.
I call them family.
So what kind of nice like what kind of vibe kind of like Halloween, I know what you did last summer, like what type of film would you describe this as that you could kind of refer it to of what we can expect?
Tori Jones definitely. There's a lot of homages to Halloween, specifically Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. There's a lot of Jason. There's a lot of even Freddy Krueger type stuff. There's even an homage to the movie Trick or Treat. So he takes inspiration from all of these amazing classic horror films. I mean, classic to the indie film world, at least, and really just made this story awesome. I mean, we can't stress enough how much effort was put into these characters and like the growth that they go through. And like Dylan said, there are no throwaway characters. Like when someone dies, it's going to be very, very hard.
Kind of like that movie Train to Busan, how they got you invested in the characters, and then when something would happen, you'd be like you'd either be raging or you'd be almost in tears like no.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that kind of thing though.
Yeah, and so if someone just dies, like, okay, yeah, what's the
Yeah.
point? It is good
Right.
having that story and that connection to the characters.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how did you two get involved with The Boy from Below? Because I see, you've worked together and all. Was they both contacted you, or how did you hear about it?
I knew Tori from Phantom Fun World. He was the writer director of that as well. And he held auditions, and we just auditioned like everyone else. So,
All right. Let's see. I was just saying if there was any questions in the chat here.
Yeah.
So, if you were, I know, Spencer, you've died a few times in your movies already, but if you had a way to die that you haven't died yet, do you have any particular way you
Yeah.
would like to be killed?
oof. I want a
Oh,
really
man.
dramatic, I want a dramatic like falling off of a building.
Okay.
That would be dope. Something that includes, effects that could be practical. I could wear a harness and I could like jump off of a building or sacrifice myself. I think that would be pretty dope.
Nice. How about you, Dylan?
I just want to be brutally slaughtered. Like in a tasteful way, obviously. I just never really had. I've been killed in film before, but I've never had one where it's just like it's just so brutal that I watch it. I'm like, oh, that sucks. Oh wait, that was me. I haven't had that moment in film yet, and I would love to just be brutally murdered.
Do it Terrifier style type murder.
Oh, which one? The bedroom
Ooh,
scene or the cut in
the
half?
bedroom.
Oh God, the scene that had my jaw hitting the ground like
Oh,
she's alive. Ah!
Yeah, in the bedroom. That was awesome.
Yeah, watching that scene, and all of a sudden you hear this, "Mommy!" It's just like jaw hits the ground like, holy moly!
It's like the bleach, the cuts. It's like, man, how can someone survive all that? It was like brutal.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I've seen so many things behind the scenes for the making of Terrifier 2, and they made a replica of that actor. So the person that's on the bed who's covered in blood and
Oh,
like
yeah.
filleted was not obviously like the actor.
Mhm.
It was just a practical effect, but man, did it look real.
Yeah, he did.
Oh
He
yeah,
does amazing
yeah.
jobs on his practical effects. So obviously you're a fan of practical effects. I'm assuming prefer that over CGI. Um, is there any like challenging moment, or how do you feel being covered up in all those prosthetics or blood or whatever?
There's something about me that people just like to mess up. Like they love to splatter blood on me, and that's totally cool with me because I personally like it as well. I think it's really fun. And also, like when you're covered in prosthetics and blood, the thought of like, oh, I hope I look good on camera goes out the window. So when you're acting in those moments, I mean, as an actor, you are so authentic because you're so messed up looking that it kind of feeds into your performance. And yeah, I mean, I that's why I like horror is because the way you look, oh, I hope I look good on camera, that thought goes out the window
Yeah,
immediately.
for sure. I was going to say, how was it playing in The Demon Within? This question will be for both of you when you get into it. Like when you read for a character, what's your thought process and how is it getting into the character?
For specifically the Demons Within?
First with you and then with Dylan after, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I read the script and was intrigued just because I like exorcism movies in general. And I was excited to play a lead. It was my first lead role. And honestly, the idea of being able to, use the blackout contacts and have like veins traveling up my face and just kind of losing all inhibition and becoming very manic and out of control was a fun idea for me. So that's the first thing that I was attracted to with the script was just the idea of being able to be in a controlled chaos type of situation. And yeah, I mean, I always like those kinds of roles. Anything that's going to physically take its toll on me is the type of role I want.
Nice. And Dylan?
So when it comes to getting into character, I'm kind of gonna piggyback off Spencer a little bit. I like going after characters and reading for characters. That is something I cannot do in everyday life. So, like again, Jekyll and Hyde, I'm not walking around with two personalities murdering people, and it's fun. Like the range, like is so high that us actors, we like to be able to go that high. We want to push ourselves to the absolute max to where when you're done filming, you're like, I'm exhausted. I need to take a nap. I need to take an ibuprofen or something, you know? So when I get into the mindset of these characters, it's just one, I have fun with it. If it's something that you can research, you research it. And also, I just like playing a maniac. It's fun playing a villain. It's fun playing a killer. It's just fun playing something that you, again, can't do every single day. So
Yeah, with playing a villain, there's this whole train of thought with villains. Bad guys get the best lines.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah. Who wants to be the hero? I'm going to save the day, where you can be like Freddy Krueger or the Joker, and spouting off these one-liners, these great lines that everybody's going to know.
Yeah. Yep.
All have iconic lines, yeah.
Joker. That would be the ultimate role. What? Yeah, that's a good one. What role would you want to play that you haven't played yet? Whether it's horror or not, doesn't matter.
I don't know. The possibilities are endless. I mean, I really like supernatural stuff. I really like the idea of like being a werewolf or a vampire, a demon, which I've done all of. But I just really like intense roles. I mean, when I think about I don't think about roles that I want. I think about actors I wish that I could have had of the role of. So like Toni Collette in Hereditary, what a phenomenal performance that was. Like to be able to just do that, like seeing her do that, such a powerhouse. She's like a dream acting partner, honestly. But yeah, I like all roles. I don't obviously fit, like I'm 30 years old and I don't look it, so I can't play the mom and I can't play, the girl next door, and I honestly can't play the teenager anymore. So I'm cool with being a demon.
Hey, Harry Potter did have some woman in her 40s or 50s or whatever playing a teenage girl, in case she was a ghost, but so it can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I the only problem is I'm covered in tattoos. I'm like 80% covered in you can't see it now, but like I'm covered in tattoos. I don't look like a high schooler.
Dylan, what role would you like to play?
So recently, I don't know what it's been, but like a Johnny, like Captain Jack Sparrow, like actors in films like sci-fi or adventure, I really want to endeavor into that. And again, it's something so out there, so ridiculous, but you laugh at it. You find it entertaining.
Yeah.
I would love to play a character like that, not like Jack Sparrow per se, but just something where people watch it and they love the character because he's goofy.
And Jack is such an awesome character to begin with. It's the only reason why I watch those movies is him. If he's not in it, I'm not going to waste my time with him.
Pretty much. You gotta have those over the top characters that make it entertaining.
Like one guy is the character, the male lead from Frankenhooker.
Oh yeah.
Drilling in his head. I mean, like, what was he drilling in his own head or whatever? And it's like,
Yeah.
No brain, no pain.
Yeah. I would love to be like in a Saw movie and being put in a contraption and having to get out somehow. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, those are always the
That'd be
best
awesome.
traps, and they just keep getting better and better. It's like, oh, I'm sure you.
Yeah.
It's like
That new one was dope.
It's like they got a top, and you look at Terrifier. That first movie, was holy, oh my god. That second movie was like, holy shit.
Mhm.
So now we got the third one coming up, and I'm just like, how are they going to top that second one without, getting the dreaded X put on it? Because that's going to be.
It's gonna be pretty intense.
Yeah. I mean, they know what they're doing over there, so it'll work out no matter what happens.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
On The Boy from Below, any funny behind the scenes stories that you can share without giving away too much of the movie?
We haven't even started filming.
Oh, it hasn't started. Oh, okay.
I think that's just two promotional pictures. There's we see a mask and a door. It looks like there's and we see the bucket of popcorn on the ground. So I'm guessing that's supposed to be like a theater door type thing.
It's called Vortex Video. The movie takes place in 1994, and my character Quinn works at Vortex Video, which is a VHS rental store. And we basically it follows these group of friends, and they have this annual, Halloween kind of get together where they watch movies and they discuss, and they're all big horror movie nerds. And the boy has his own origin story, and you kind of learn that at the beginning. But I mean, the reason we're doing a lot of press for this, a lot of podcasts this week, especially because we're gearing up for something which is called Wicked Week. And this is what will be on Wicked Week, essentially. So Wicked Week is a week chock full of crazy announcements. Celebrity cast members are being announced, kind of to kickstart our second half of our crowdfunding. We've raised almost $50,000 so far. We need 50,000 more at least. And so Wicked Week is our way of kind of fast tracking that funding process.
Yeah. Do you have that link so I can post it in the comments in the for the crowdfunding?
I don't. Maybe you can do it, Dylan.
Yeah, I can go on Facebook and grab it real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's going to be Jonestown Films, the production company's biggest film to date, and we have so many crazy things involved. So, like I said, the film takes place in 1994, and part of our character's insane character arcs is the fact that my character is actually queer, and the girl that Dylan and another character kind of reintroduced to Quinn, the girl that she was in love with, is going to be played by hopefully someone very, very important in our community. And so if all works out, she will also be announced. Her casting announcement will be announced on Wicked Week. But these characters are so fleshed out. I mean, the whole LGBT storyline in 1994 is really important. Yeah. And it's important to...
What's great about putting it in 94, and it's going to be interesting, 94, we spoke differently, we dressed differently, the fashion, it was so different, and I think that's going to be really intriguing. I like some of these films when they, like I watched She Comes from the Wood, they had to capture the 80s. So if they can capture that feeling of that period, is awesome, especially when they, that the look, the feel, and then you go, oh man, this feels just like it.
Yeah, I mean, one of our main pieces of sets is being built right now. It's a VHS store where our characters work at. So, I mean, there's going to be hundreds of VHSs. And what's so cool about the Indiegogo that we have is some of the perks is you can actually name a movie, and that will be in the VHS store. You can also put your face on a poster that will be in the VHS store. So, like, you will be involved in this movie in so many different ways if you were to buy a perk, which I think is great because we have all the perks are so unique. It's way more unique than a lot of the Indiegogos I see going on right now.
So where are you going to be filming then, since it hasn't started filming yet?
It'll be filmed in Kentucky. It'll be filmed about an hour from Cincinnati, like all around that. We've got 3 major locations. There's a quarry, there's my house, and then there's the VHS set, and then there's like some small in-betweens. But it'll be in Kentucky. The indie community in Kentucky is booming right now.
The fact that it's got VHSs, and there's a number of people in our community that are big VHS people. I'm one of them. It's the same VHS. That's gonna. It's still a loved format. I just wish people to give more to Betamax, but.
Yeah. Physical media is really important. I mean, physical media is what's keeping the industry alive. I mean, it's what's keeping the industry's history relevant. So.
And unfortunately, we're seeing stores get going away.
Less with physical media.
Although I heard Disney wanted to do it until there was a change in who was in charge, and the guy in charge now was like, no, we're gonna keep doing the physical releases. But this
Yeah, I mean it's
website,
important.
yeah,
The
yeah.
memorabilia is crazy, you know? I mean, I have all my shelves at home are filled with old VHSs and memorabilia from movies. So,
Yeah. I hate how, I mean, streaming is good and everything, but I mean, your internet goes out. I mean, what are you going to watch? You know, and it's nice to have those
yeah,
physical copies in your
Right.
collection
Oh
and
yeah.
hold on to. And a lot of people are physical
yeah.
collectors. It's just like, I don't know if they got rid of physical media. I don't know. I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
they won't. I mean, then again, we're seeing that movies, DVDs, and Blu-rays and CDs are going down, yet vinyl's going up.
yeah, they're coming back. So it's like maybe VHS will make another comeback. It's like, hey, if we're going backwards, why not? You know?
Technically, it
I'm
is. It
sure.
just you got to spend a little extra.
Yeah.
We're seeing
Yeah.
more movies they do that with.
Mhm. I have seen
Absolutely.
I haven't gotten them yet, but like certain movies as like a perk or whatever, they're putting it as a VHS copy as well. Like you can get a copy of it that way too and
Mhm.
everything, which is pretty cool. I think
Of
they do.
course, we're seeing the mask. We know that the mask that we're seeing right now, it's not going to be the final mask. I'm sure about it. Once it gets, done, there's probably going to be some changes. I would think.
To the boys mask?
Yeah, there'd be some changes once it gets done.
No. Nope, that's the mask because this is actually a reboot. This is a movie. This is a reimagining of a movie that happened back in 2014 called The Wicked One.
Why does that name sound familiar? I
It's
probably
pretty big in the indie community. Yeah,
The Wicked One. It does sound familiar.
yeah.
yeah.
It's the
Mhm.
same story. It's the story of Colin Miller, but it's a reimagining of it with a bigger budget and cooler characters.
It's like I gotta look that up because I swear that sounds familiar.
It does sound
It
so familiar so much, and I'm trying to. I've come across. I haven't seen it, but I've come across it in a post or something. I want to say, but then again, other people. I know other people have used that title, so I could be wrong, but I think I've come across it. I'm just trying to remember.
So the Wicked One is the first movie, and they did a movie called Wicked Ones, which is the sequel. It's not as good as the original story. And then Tori Jones, who did the Wicked One, he decided to just reboot the whole thing with a bigger budget, with the
Hmm.
support of the Levy brothers from Terrifier and everyone. So he's redoing the old Wicked One.
That's
Okay.
it's a cool name, The Boy from Below.
Yeah.
That's kind of got a eerie sound to it.
Yeah, and that will come to make sense as well once the more things come out about the movie.
So I found this. I don't think this is it though. There's one called The Wicked One that came out in 2017, but it says a group of traveling friends who are hoping for a fun-filled weekend getaway find themselves in the cross of one of the most dangerous and prolific serial killers in history. I don't know if that's it or not. Does that
Yeah.
sound like it or not?
I don't know what the synopsis is. You would have to
No,
tell me what the serial killer's name is,
well,
Of course, it doesn't say on
or
that.
or who the writer or the director is.
yeah, you can probably look it up on IMDb. If just look him up, the director.
I mean, it's
It
on
says
Tubi,
It
so
says a Tory Jones film. It says.
Oh, that's the Wicked
yep, that's
Ones, I
him.
think.
It just says Wicked One
Yeah,
normal, but I don't know. But I don't know if you can see that with my background or not.
yeah. So
Oh, okay.
Wicked Ones is the sequel, and then The Wicked One is the original.
The original.
I'll find it later.
Yeah, gonna have to check those out.
So
Yeah.
Are there going
Yeah.
to be any of the people from those movies returning for this one?
Yeah, there are some legacy actors, not necessarily characters. There might be, I believe there is one actually who's rebooting her role. But yeah, there is actors who was in the original. We have some actors who were in other Tory Jones films that are joining us, and we've got a lot of newcomers. But yeah. But the story of Colin Miller is different. It's not the same story. It's a complete reboot of the franchise itself.
And the same filmmaker, which is cool, not handing it off to other people to do the reboot.
Right. Yeah.
who end up
Right.
butchering
Yeah.
the reboot. Looking at you
Yeah.
from Nightmare on Elm Street.
If you guys has seen the Last Shift, and then they made Malum, like, that was a reboot of Last Shift. That's the same
I
thing
know
that
exactly.
Tori's doing. Yeah.
I've seen Last Shift. I still haven't watched Malum yet. That's like on my list there. But it's like I watch so much as it is. It's hard to keep up with everything. There's just
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah,
Sometimes
absolutely.
you can say the name of the movie, and you have to show me like a little bit of the movie or like the artwork, the cover for it, and maybe it
Yeah.
will trigger a memory. Like, oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
there was a. So, what kind of movies do you like to watch in your spare time? What are some of your favorites?
I don't watch many movies in my spare time because it gets hard. I mean, when you view something as a filmmaker, you kind of end up tearing
Yeah.
it apart a little bit.
Oh, you
So,
like dissecting it. Well, here's one for you. Okay, we got
yeah.
Thanksgiving. We just had Thanksgiving. Thoughts
Mhm.
on Thanksgiving horror movies?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I mean, we've
Yeah.
had some doozies. Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I
Blood
remember that
Rage.
one.
Blood Rage was a good one. I love the killer in that one. Have you seen that one yet? Blood
Yes.
Rage. I mean,
Yes.
everyone's like all like in panic and moaning. He's just walking around. Hi.
Yeah.
Such a kind of like it's just a beautiful day in the neighborhood and people being killed.
How it's supposed to be.
I mean, that's a kind of a bit over the top because again, most killers in movies, the scary or whatever, or the silent or the one-liners, and here's a guy who's just smiling and whistling and like.
Yeah. He's just enjoying himself. He's doing what he was born to do.
Yeah, I find holiday themed movies are always interesting. So
Unless it's Christmas.
I was gonna say I know you don't like Christmas.
Well, see, the reason why I don't like Christmas is last year I decided to do Echo Krampus, and I was going to review Christmas-related horror movies. I found all the bad ones. The ones that just want to leave you in the corner weeping. And I watched a whole bunch of them. So
Yeah.
Well, what
I
was
stay
it?
away from those ones.
Yeah.
What was it? The one with the
Black
killer
Christmas. I mean, all the killer Christmas tree. Is that
Oh
is that
God.
what you
Well,
said?
the
Oh,
one where
God.
it's like drive, like it jumps in front of this car and then it drives instead. There's like this weird movie where the guy,
Okay,
is a serial killer and becomes a
imagine
Christmas
Child's Play, right? But instead of the
Right.
killer's having his soul put into a doll, it's in a Christmas tree. Now imagine a British accent delivering one-liners, and they can't keep the damn thing size right. It goes from being what was it? 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, 20 feet.
That's probably just like a power to grow.
Yeah,
or
it's like
something,
back to 6 feet, up to 30 feet. It's like, oh God.
Oh my gosh.
And most of the movie, it's looking for the house. Where's that bloody house? I'm gonna kill some people. Where's that bloody house?
He's like after the family that got him executed or something. I don't know.
The daughter in it, but it's like, oh God, it's Child's Play in a Christmas tree, and they're not doing such good.
Oh my. I haven't seen many horror-related Christmas movies.
Well, I mean, there's some good ones. There's Christmas Evil. Was that the one with the guy at the end? He flies away in the car.
I think so. Yeah.
Fiona Apple. Remember that singer Fiona Apple? It's her dad did one.
Oh.
And at the end of the movie, everyone's chasing him. He drives off a cliff, and instead of crashing his van, flies off. And it's like, okay. Early
There's
80s,
some
lady.
ideas.
How about you, Dylan? What's some of your favorite holiday movies?
Like horror, or just in general.
Both, if you want, horror or general.
None. I'm not a big fan of like holiday films. I think it's because I was forced to watch Hallmark films a lot when I was a kid, and I'm like traumatized by it. So
I stay away. I stay away from Hallmark.
Yeah,
I even stay away from the cards.
Yeah, you just see Hallmark.
So I'm just like, there's a few that I would watch probably later in life, but like once, and then I'd burn them. But after that, I'm good. I'm not a big fan of holiday films and whatnot.
Every now and then there might be a couple good ones, but a lot of them are just seem the same. Or Christmas Story, though, how they always show 24 hours. I don't get that. It's like I can't watch this movie
Steven,
like even you're flipping through.
Okay, some theaters around Halloween time they put old horror movies back in, right?
Mm-hmm.
This year they're putting Elf, Saving Private Ryan, and A Christmas Story back in the theater.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny. I assume he's talking about the Hallmark movies. We got have Cheeto in here. Patrick, he said them fighting words. I guess he's talking about Hallmark because he likes Hallmark movies.
I don't like Hallmark movies, so I will bash them, and he's going to let me hear about it.
Yep.
Okay, the movie, okay, it's going to be in a video store, VHS store. What are your guys' memories of going to these old stores, whether it's to rent or to buy? Or did you have a specific section that you always went to?
I was always in the drama section. One of my most vivid memories is being in a Blockbuster, and I always rented Little Monsters with Howie Mandel and Fred Savage, and I loved Man on Fire with Dakota. What's her name? Dakota Fanning and Denzel Washington. Like that was my go-to duo for sleepovers, and I don't know why. I was probably such a weird kid. And The Grudge. I loved The Grudge.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that movie. Movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I haven't watched Little Monsters in so long. That was such a great movie.
It was so good. It was so fantastical, like with the hidden world and all the monsters. It was great.
And they would turn into piles of clothes.
Kind of reminds us about another movie with a hidden world and monsters, Monsters Inc.
Put that thing back where it came from.
Kind of.
That's what helped me.
A little bit, but.
What about you, Dylan? What was your memories about the old video stores?
So, I mean, again, Blockbuster was a big one where I lived when I was a kid. I don't really remember what my dad always picked the movies out when my mom wasn't there because he refused to be my mom because she is the one that forced the Hallmark films. He did a lot of like Clint Eastwood and like military movies. So,
Heartbreak Ridge.
I'm sorry.
Heartbreak Ridge.
Right. Now, my memory is I would go to the candy and my dad would get the movie. That was my memory of Blockbuster. I was a little kid. Blockbuster, I don't know when it discontinued, but I think I was like I was in middle school when it was fully like out of my area because they were just going out of business.
Well, technically, a few hours south of me is the last one in the country. Because I live in Central Washington, and there's one in Bend, Oregon, which is a few hours. And a few people I've told this to, so I get so when are we going to get a video of you going down there? Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're trying to push me to go down there.
Go. Like the Jedi, that is the movie store you want to go to.
Hey, they had a guy, Angry Video Game Nerd. They went there, and one of them had the old Blockbuster card. They were able to rent. They let them use the old card to rent. And they stood in the parking lot and watched the movie and then took it back. But yeah, if there is a website, it's in Bend, Oregon, and it's the last Blockbuster.
That's awesome. That's insane. Wow. Still kicking.
Yeah. They sell stuff. There's a website. I forget the website's address. You can probably look up Bend, Oregon and Blockbuster. But it's still there. They were able to keep it alive.
Wow.
Movie Gallery was the evil one. Because Movie Gallery had that the theme song would play non-stop. And all it was Movie Gallery.
I worked at a movie gallery.
Yeah, but when you walked out, you'd be like, da-da-da-da-da, Movie Gallery. Oh, God damn it. It just got in your head. No, I was a Hollywood Video guy.
It's so sad that... Oh, yeah, Hollywood Video. I had Family Video where I was from, too. But You know, Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix and they turned it down.
There is a
Turned down
small
the offer.
rental store in my town that still does them, and I showed someone a picture of it, and they told me I was photoshopping it. There's not one around. They're still out there. You just gotta look around.
Yeah.
Kind of like Where's Waldo? Oh, there it is, right there. Just gonna find
Yep.
it in between everything. Oh, I remember at Blockbuster they
Yeah.
had like it was either 3 to 5 movies, but you got that bucket of popcorn with it and candy and everything. I used to do that all the time. And then the one every now and then I was able to get the posters when they took them down and stuff. They gave them to me because they were going to throw them out, and I'm like, so.
But hey, Suncoast would have the. I don't know if you guys ever with the Suncoast. They
Or
have a
Sam
deal if you
Goody.
got a certain type. Yeah. If you got a certain movie or video, you would get a free poster. Because I remember they had that with anime one time, and you had was from I forget what company, and I almost got all the posters, save for one, because then they stopped doing it. Because my section was the horror
Interesting.
section. I think I was probably at Hollywood Video where I lived near Seattle at the time. I was probably the only person that rented horror.
Yeah.
And they had a limit.
Wow.
You can only do 10 at a time. Well, I rent 10. Wait a bit, come back. Oh, you already got 10 out. Oh no, I just returned them. Okay, you can rent.
Written 10
So then we
more.
get in.
Patrick was saying he found a Blockbuster case out in the wild when he was shopping for movies. They were selling it in a Blockbuster case.
Wow. That's kind of a cool find, actually. Good thing to add to the collection.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it had what was it? Another video store. It was just like a one in town called Video Plus, and got Monster Squad a lot. Rented that one, which I know Andre Gower's in that. And actually, you worked with Andre Gower. He was the priest in The Demons Within.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ryan Lambert as well.
Yep. So how was it working with him? Have you seen Monster Squad, I assume, or not yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen it. Yep, I sure have. Yeah, they were great to work with. They were super kind, and I only worked with them for like a day, but they were awesome. They were super, like I said, super kind and very collaborative. The scenes that I shared with both of them was super physical, so I had a lot of time with him outside of actual set, and we kind of choreographed and did our little fight scene, and it was fun.
We got a question. Did you release a film during the strike?
What film?
Or any films during the strike, I
Any
guess?
film, yeah, during the strike that was going on.
Phantom released, but we're not SAG, so we're not breaking any picket lines by releasing our films.
And then there's another legend in Phantom, Ari, the original Jason.
Ari Lehman. Yeah, yep. He was in there. He was very fun to work with. Such a funny and unique person. What was really funny was that the first day that I met him, he showed up to our Airbnb, the cast house, and we had made cinnamon rolls, and then he had just showed up, and he went back outside and found a walnut on the ground and cracked it open and sprinkled a wild walnut over his cinnamon roll and ate it. That was my very first impression of him, and it was hilarious.
Is there any actor or actress or filmmaker you guys would really like to work with?
There's a lot.
I think I mentioned her earlier. Toni Collette would be a dream to work with. Jenna Ortega would be super dope. She seems nice. And Sally Fields, oh my God, she would be like the perfect scene partner. So.
And why did Flying Nun come to mind? Pop right in there. Smoking the Bandit. What you, Dylan?
I named them earlier. Like Jack Black and Johnny Depp are on my bucket list. Brendan Fraser with his return. I'm so glad he's back making movies. I would love to work with him as well.
That one movie
That's
that
the
what was that movie that got him a standing ovation? That had him crying.
Oh, the
Whale.
whale.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I cried watching that movie.
Oh, I want to check that out. So it's really that good.
It's more his performance was just so like real and warm, and you kind of feel his presence. And also, if you know his backstory, it kind of bleeds into his performance. So it's really, it hits you like right in the heart when he does his performance.
Mm.
But it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
See, Mayan says Tony Collette is her favorite.
Yeah. Well, going back to the video store, because Dylan, we'll talk about the candy. So when we rent a video, sometimes you got to get your treat. What was the go-to video store treat? I can't recall. Actually, it probably was for me Boston beans.
Oh god, I don't even remember. Whatever I grabbed, I didn't even look. M&M's, basic stuff, I guess. Snickers, not candy corn. Never, ever.
I think, if I recall, I think Blockbuster had snow caps also. What is it? Those like caramel. Shoot, I can't think of what they're called. They're almost shaped like little beans. Those caramel beans. You know what I'm talking about, Echo? Or what they're called?
Vaguely remember, but
they're like chewy as hell. Like you can barely chew them.
Milk duds?
No, not milk
no,
duds.
I kind of know what he's talking about, but I just can't remember the name.
I can't think of the name, but they were like.
Well, Milk Duds was another. Well, Milk Duds is a movie theater favorite.
They had them at Blockbuster though too, I think.
Yeah.
That's gonna bug me with that candy, but that's all right.
We used to call Blockbuster Ball Buster.
Ball Buster.
Found out why. I got an idea why, because I went in with some friends, and my friend had to pay his late dues, and the guy got all excited. Oh, late dues. Let me look it up. Oh, no more late dues. It was like, is he pulling a leg? There's no way someone could be that excited about late dues.
Well,
Let's see.
So going back, it's going to be in the 90s. You guys are probably going to have to do, the looks. What do you guys remember about the 90s fashion? Which wasn't as bad as the 80s fashion, but baggy pants, backwoods.
Yeah. I mean, my character is pretty low on the like class scale, so she's probably going to be wearing flannel, some
Grunge.
bell bottoms. Yeah, very grunge, very, like Maisie Starr or Alanis. Dylan is actually going to be going through our biggest transformation, so that should be interesting to watch.
Yep. Can't wait for that.
Gotta say about grunge.
Yeah.
I did the grunge style back in the 90s just because it was comfortable.
Yep. Jennifer Tochi just
Yeah.
named the candy Sugar Babies. That's what it was. The candy that I was talking about.
Oh, shit.
That's what it was. Thank you.
Well, we got someone saying that spooky. Let's say someone asked Madison, "Why do you kind of look like Emma Watson?"
Emma Watson. Is that Hermione from Harry Potter?
I think so.
Oh, I can't answer the question because you're asking why, and I don't know why. I do not know why I look like her.
Just special. That's all. Just that celebrity look-alike twin. Everybody has a twin out there.
I suppose.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Pat has a question. Let me bring this up. Do you think indie films are going to get ran over publicly wise now that the strike is over? Because
No, not at all.
No.
I think
Not at all.
Before the strike, I was already watching a lot, and then during it, it's just.
I think that we have our foot where we want our foot in the door, and that is to create, be collaborative, make friends, have fun, do all of that in a safe environment on a good and healthy and safe set, and we offer things that Hollywood and SAG movies don't, and that's safety and advocacy for actors and crew members. So no,
And
I don't think that
yeah,
we're not going anywhere.
and indie films I'm finding to be more enjoyable than some big studio film.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
I went and saw
sometimes.
Spider-Man and probably had more fun watching something like Death to Metal or Sharkenstein more than that. Yeah, I said I enjoyed a
Yeah.
movie about a vampire shark more than a superhero in tights.
A creature shark. Yeah, why not? Um, Also, I guess obviously, besides you said you planned on doing these podcasts, how got a question? How do you promote your other projects or your projects in general?
Usually just social media. I mean, that is the tool to networking these days is
Mhm.
Instagram and Facebook and boosted
Mhm.
ads and that kind of stuff. And I mean, really continuing to do podcasts and posting on a regular basis and engaging with all of the people who are following you. That's the only way to get the word out these days.
Yeah. It's social media is a tool. Use it.
Hmm.
Whether it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, God for sake, X.
Twitter. I can't
Or you
say
got
X. I cannot say X. That's so stupid.
oh there's that new one, Threads.
Hmm.
Well,
Oh, right. Yeah.
So good connection there.
oh, Pat's also asking, what was your favorite indie film this year, and what made it stand out?
Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know if it came out this year, but I saw it this year. And it's not a horror movie. It was called Alice Darling, and it had Anna Kendrick, and it was just an incredible piece about a girl who was leaving a tumultuous relationship and kind of her journey of leaving the situation. And it was just so beautifully done. I mean, it made me sick watching it because the performances were so intense. But yeah, that's probably the best one I've seen in a while.
How about you, Dylan?
The one that stood out the most probably, and I watched it, was Terrifier 2. And again, it's because of how gruesome it was.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
actually I wasn't really on the Terrifier train until like late last year, early this year, and then I watched the first one and watched the second one. I'm like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
It stood out because again, how brutal it was. I
Hmm.
didn't expect them to do that to the girl on the bed. I didn't expect the dude to get his dick cut off and he drew it on the window or whatever. I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
the
well,
little girl in the laundromat relieving herself.
Yeah, that was
that
crazy.
yeah. So
Yeah, I saw the
like,
first
that's
movie and was like, yeah, the first movie was like, oh, okay. I don't really see why it's a big deal. And you see the second movie and it's, oh,
yeah, like jaw dropping, eye opening. I'm like, oh,
So,
okay.
who introduced you to Terrifier?
I don't think it was Spencer. I think it was you actually, because I saw you post about what's his name, the writer and Damien, I think. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. Damien Leon.
You posted about Terrifier 2, and I think I asked you what it was about, and you said just watch it. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it, and then I watched it with my mom, which I shouldn't have done because she was squeamish about it the entire time, and I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, Spencer.
That makes sense.
yeah, I got to be careful walking into Best Buy because I talked to one of the people working there into going ahead and making the jump and watching it. I really hope she enjoyed it because otherwise, next time I go in there and she sees me, oh, I know I'm going to play hell.
Mm.
Just watch this movie. You'll like it. What the hell do you make me watch?
Like, I remember you. Okay, you want this DVD for $20? Well, I'm going to give you this, charge you this. Oh, and add the price for a PlayStation on.
Make me watch that weird stuff. Uh, as promoting wise, or even if you're not doing to promote, have you attended any conventions at all, or plan to?
Dylan and I both we went to Horror Hound last year. We went to both Cincinnati and then we went to the Indiana Horror Hound where Phantom Fun World premiered. Um, and then when we're filming Boy from Below, actually we're filming in the block where Horror Hound is actually going to be there's a weekend there, and so hopefully as a cast and crew we can kind of all go again and continue to support everyone there. But I went to Nightmares Film Festival, which was here in Columbus, Ohio. Um, but I haven't been to many, honestly.
How about you, Dylan? Well, besides the ones she mentioned, or is there any upcoming ones or ones that you thought maybe want to check out that you've heard are good ones?
I mean, Horror Hound's the one we went to. There was a few that I thought about it, but my schedule didn't line up. I think it was out in like New Jersey. I can't remember the name of what it was though.
Oh, that's probably Monster Mania. I'm thinking probably.
It may have been that one, yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. I think it was that one, but no, just Horror Hound is the only ones I went to.
Yeah, it's been a few years. Well, it was before COVID. I went to Horror Hound, and after that, I haven't been to Horror Hound since. But I'd like to. I think in March, who was it that they got? I think they announced Eli Roth is going to be there at the next one. So I'm like, I would love to go to that one.
Yeah, the lineup's pretty good this upcoming year, so I'm excited.
So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I mean, I have a friend who like knows people in the area. His wife has family, and that's when we went last time. Actually stayed with him at a Amish area. So that was interesting, living with the Amish for a little bit.
All right.
So let's see. Now it's Darks here. Hello. So, what advice would you give people who plan on getting to either acting or writing, directing in the field at all?
Gosh, I mean, don't be afraid to reach out to that director who you see is, making a movie. And if you're just starting out, you got to pay your dues. A lot of people don't, in this day and age of the industry, people are like, "Oh, I'm not going to work for free." And you definitely should not have to work for free. You should have your gas covered. You should have food. Those are all givens. But I mean, start from the bottom. Don't expect to succeed right away. Be a PA. If you want to be paid to be on set, be a production assistant. Come on as crew and see how a movie's actually made. Learn the lingo, learn the rules. Make sure you're networking. Make sure you have photos of yourself and they're updated photos. Make sure when when you go out for a role, make sure you fit the specs, because there's nothing more annoying than going out for a role and you're realizing, oh, I didn't read that right, and it said that it was calling for a black woman. Like, why did I audition for that? I just wasted this person's time. Make sure you're doing your research about who's making the movie, and that they don't have a past that you don't want to be involved with. So I have all the advice. I'll ask all the questions. I'll give them to you.
Yeah, I mean, we have the guy right below me. He's just beginning a little bit of an acting career.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
But you're talking about, working behind, Bryan Cranston, Breaking Bad.
Mhm.
Early in his career, he did behind the scenes stuff on the movie Alligator.
Mm.
He was the one that famously, when they blew up the alligator, had to fill in the guts and stuff. So like
Wow.
that, starting, low and working the way up.
Yep.
He went from that to
Yeah,
Breaking Bad.
it's very rare. It's very rare that you're going to fall into a lead role for your first movie and you're going to get your big break. You have to work for it. And you have to know how to talk to people. You have to know how to be kind and compassionate. You need to know, keep your ego in check, because there's so many of us in this industry. We're all replaceable. We're all replaceable. You got to keep your ego in check.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to get along with who you work with and make sure it's a fun and safe environment and just enjoy what we all do. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think it also comes off in a person's performance if they're, enjoying themselves, having a good time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I know this is a silly question, but Patrick goes, do either of you have a green Kia? He's just referencing to Mark Polonia that used to have a green Kia in all his movies. But
hey, what's his name? Sam Raimi used to have that. What was that, Oldsmobile? Was that the one he used to always appear in his movies?
Are you talking about the Evil Dead one? Or no, that's not what.
Sam Raimi, he used to always have that one car that would always appear. Even made his appearance in the Spider-Man movie. Even was in the remake. of Evil Dead.
Oh yeah.
It would be there. It's what they drove to the cabin, and Spider-Man, when he did the Spider-Man movies, his uncle was Peter Parker's uncle was driving it. It's like
No,
a
that's right.
Oldsmobile or something,
Mm.
Yeah.
and you will see it in all of his movies.
Like you joke around. It's like we need to put the car. It has its own IMDb page, which every single movie they used it for. They should list it. Let's see.
I didn't see if it was in the Evil Dead Rise. I got to go back and watch that movie. Oh God, it's a terrible movie, and see if it's in there.
Was it in the beginning? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, or it could have been. I think someone said it was in the parking lot or something when they were in the garage at the end, maybe.
Well, some of this is she says Charlotte's hoping to become a author, a scriptwriter, director, and actress in her own and work in her own films and television.
That's dope. Yeah, I just did that with Cold Feet. I was the writer and the director, and I starred in it, and it was a lot of hard work. It's really hard to direct yourself, turns out, because you got to kind of go in and out of like the character, and then you got to go back to directing, like not only the other actors and yourself, but you got to like make sure your crew is on top of their stuff. But it's very rewarding. I mean, it's a hard thing to do, but gosh, is it rewarding. But that's dope. You should definitely pursue that.
Oh, Pat was asking, how do you handle conflict on a set?
I don't
Like
handle
define
the
what kind
conflict
of
on the
conflict.
set. Yeah.
Yeah, how was that bad? Maybe if somebody's having an issue, maybe something they don't like.
Um, I, for me, that's something that I don't deal with. If I have an issue with someone, I usually won't, because like set etiquette is a little bit different. So if I have an issue with someone, like say I'm being sexually harassed on a set, I don't say to that person, "Hey, fuck off." I say, "Hey, Mr. Assistant Director, this is what's happening. Go deal with it because I'm not dealing with it."
Pretty much, yeah. It's the if something is happening on their conflict, if it's to the what Spencer said, or if it's just like an argument, tell the AD, and then they'll handle it. If they don't handle it, then obviously it's not a safe set, and people. This is like a job when you're on set. There's like people that should handle that. Like the way we handle it, like Spencer said, you tell the AD, they go to this person, talk about it, either and they fire them or give them a warning or whatever it may be.
Right. So Madison, what? Oh, I don't know if that was my computer or yours. Just
No,
disappeared.
it was StreamYard again.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say, since you've done all three, direct, act, all that, do you have a specific area that you prefer the most, or enjoy it all the same?
I think I like it on different days. Some days I just don't want to be in front of the camera. Some days I just want to throw my hair up in a messy bun and put a sweatshirt on and not have to deal with how I look. And other days I don't even want to look at a piece of paper. So some day, I mean, being an actor is easy in its own right of like you show up, you do what you're told. Performing is a whole other, side of that. But directing crew, that's hard. That your brain's gotta be working 24/7. Like as an actor, there's a lot of waiting around on set that you can kind of relax and wait for your cue. But I mean, when you're on crew, you're constantly going. It's an exhausting job.
Well, going with Dylan, you were talking about Jack Black.
Mhm.
Do you have Tenacious D? Awesome, by the way. That song, Video Games, love it. Do you have a particular favorite performance of his, whether it's as an actor or as a singer?
I love his singing with Tenacious D. I want to see him live one day, but I mean I can't really pick one. I guess I just respect him so much. I don't want my brain won't pick one, if that makes sense. I
Yeah.
admire him as an artist overall. Like everything he does is he's just so elegant with it. It's so natural to him, and that's what I strive to be. So I don't really have a favorite one. Anything he does, I just enjoy it.
And I also got to agree with him about Red Dead Redemption 2. That is art. That's Shakespeare.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's just, has he done horror? I know he did he's done a thriller, because he would be funny in a horror.
Trying to think.
I
Well,
don't think he had one at least.
I think the closest he's come is King Kong, which was a
I was about to say that one that might be the closest, but that's not. That's an action, not an action
Action,
film. What is that?
sci-fi, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, there were some scary parts of the film, but it wasn't a horror film. But I think you do great in it too.
Someone should write a part for you. Besides, I mean, obviously you're working on The Boy from Below, but are you doing anything else on the side also, working on any other projects, or just focusing on this right now?
Always working on other stuff. I think I'm booked until like June next year, honestly, with a feature film a month. So lots of stuff going on. I leave Sunday actually for a movie.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Charlotte was saying Jack Black was in I Know What You Did Last Summer too, or I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I think he did have a part in that.
Oh yeah. He was the cabana guy. He was the guy who worked at the restaurant on the island.
Yep. Good call. Yeah, I completely forgot about it. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I should have, because I love both those movies. Third one, yeah, that one wasn't. But
I haven't even seen the third one. Barely remember the second one.
So yeah,
I only watched the first one because I had a thing for Jennifer Love Hewitt at the time, and I didn't bother with the third one because I got out of that. Well, okay, The Boy from Below, it's 90s horror. Some people like 90s horror before it over 80s horror. What is you guys' favorite decade for horror?
Really into like the 20s horror. That's nice. I really like anything that has to do with slashers. So like the Scream franchise has been one of my favorite franchises since I was really young. So the 90s, honestly, that whole slasher era was pretty cool for me.
Mm-hmm.
So don't want to get too much into it, but what do you think about the Scream 7 issue that they've been having now of what's going on? Do you think it should be scrapped, or what's your thoughts on that?
I think that Spyglass fucked up, and I think that in the coming days, maybe weeks, we will see probably a delay on shooting, and we're gonna see more characters drop out.
Yeah, I won't be surprised on that. I'm just, when I heard all that, I was like, I mean, it's bad enough. I mean, it's cool Jenna Ortega's doing Wednesday, the second season and all, and they probably could have figured that, but dropping both of them, they're just totally, like you said, they just fucked up on that totally, entirely.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dylan, your favorite decade?
I want to. This probably the same with Spencer. So that slasher era in the '90s. Slasher films have a special place. I don't know why. It may have been because Halloween was probably the first film I ever saw in my life, like horror film. That's when it actually got me into horror film, was the original Halloween. But yeah, probably the '90s or in early 2000s horror film. It just had my eyes are drawn to it. I don't know what it is. It might be the mixture of practical with a little bit of like a visual effect. I think they did it right. And then I guess the better question for me is like I like Halloween the best. That entire franchise is my favorite when it comes to horror film and slasher film. I love the aspect of Michael Myers. I love the aspect of who he is and how he did, and even Rob Zombie what he did with it was amazing. I might be one of the only guys that like all three of the new ones. I like them all. But era-wise, 90s slasher.
Yeah. That last one was I found it to be a chore to watch.
Yep. Actually, yeah, that one kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
A little bit, just a little bit.
But then again, the that Halloween Kills got a bit annoying with repeatedly "Evil dies tonight" non-stop. After a while, then repeating that over and over again, it kind of gets on one's nerves.
Yeah.
You heard about the
Yeah,
petition they made? Some guy made for that movie for Halloween Kills.
Mm-mm.
no.
With the beginning of the scene, that great scene with the fireman, which I love. I thought it's a cool scene where he's standing there and you can see the fireman getting ready to fight. And then, of course, Micah messes him up. Some guy got mad at that scene and started a petition to try to get it removed from the movie.
It's a
Wow.
freaking horror film, dude. It's a movie.
Yeah.
And it's Michael.
And it's a great scene. You can see,
And he kills everybody. It's not like he discriminates or anything.
yeah, and again,
Right.
if you watch it, I swear if you watch it, you can see the firemen getting the axes together because they know they're in for a fight when they see him. Like, who is this guy? Okay, let's get ready to fight. So it wasn't him just coming out and slaughtering. It was a fight.
Pretty much.
It's a bloody fight, but it was a fight.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great choreographed scene. I enjoyed it.
I was gonna say also about the '90s. Do you have any favorite '90s music or toys or anything else that really sticks out to you that you remember and maybe hope to see something at least similar in the movie?
Oh gosh, the whole culture was just so interesting. I mean, I was born in '93, so I didn't get to live in the '90s for very often, but it was definitely the era that I wish I was able to experience a little bit more. I grew up collecting Beanie Babies and Furbies, and I had like the Lion King sheets, and I don't know. I think the most that I'm excited for is definitely the music that we're gonna probably have in the film. So I think that's gonna really tie everything together, the score.
Yeah, there was a lot of great music in that period. I did a lot of
Yeah.
like the grunge and the metal back then. Alice in
Mm,
Chains, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, all those people.
yeah.
Except for the album Jaws of Fly from Alice in Chains, because in Seattle, I lived near Seattle at the time. That album got non-stop airplay here near Seattle, which kind of made me get sick of the album.
Mm.
I was gonna say, have you seen the Fear Street, the '94? Have you watched that?
Yeah, that was great. I love that whole series.
That was interesting. It was a little bit. They had stuff based on the book a little bit, but then they like completely changed it. And I heard they want to bring it back and do something else with it. So I'm hoping. Um,
Very
you
cool.
did you get into any other R.L. Stein at all, or any other favorite books?
Oh, I loved Goosebumps growing up. I loved Goosebumps. I think my favorite Goosebumps book was Say Cheese and Die, honestly. So,
Nice. Book number 4 and book number 44 was Say Cheese and Die Again. Like I got all those books memorized. I could name them all in order. But I
very
won't.
cool. Yeah,
I'm not
that's
going to do that
awesome.
right now. But yes. Did you watch the new Goosebumps with Justin Long?
I did not. I was not super impressed with the the trailer, so I just didn't really pursue watching it.
It was interesting, but I made it. They made it like more of older teens and adults. It wasn't much of a kids show, like the way the themes was in
Okay.
it. I mean, it was good for what it was, and they sort of had references to like "Go Eat Worms" and "Say Cheese and Die." But this whole storyline for it, I was like, "This is weird." Like, I don't know what I'm watching.
Yeah.
But is there any books that you'd like to see made into a movie that maybe you would like to portray a character in?
Oh, so I have one. They actually did make a movie on it, but they did. I think they did a bad job. I wish they would reboot it. The I Am Number 4 book series.
That was a
Did
bad
anybody
movie.
read that one?
I-
I wish they would reboot that and then actually follow that, because it's actually a phenomenal. If you read the books, they're really good.
Hmm.
It was like
Yeah, that's a
9 of them, I
hard
think, or
question. I
7.
don't think I could answer that question without like having some thought behind it.
That's fine. If you think of it during, that's fine. But yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah, I'm not gonna think of it right now. Yeah.
Well, ask it if Madison is into Twin Peaks.
Love Twin Peaks. Yes, absolutely.
Another place that's a few hours from me, and actually, Kyle MacLachlan's from my area. He was
Oh,
born in Yakima, which is just 10, 15 minutes north of me.
okay.
Except he
Yeah,
opened
no,
a
that's a great show.
he opened a winery in Washington State, but he didn't want to do it back in his hometown. He had to do it in Walla Walla.
Mm,
Come on,
okay.
give your hometown some love. Come back. Be the conquered hero and open a winery.
sounds good. For your filming locations and movies, have they all been like local, or have you been anywhere that almost seems like a vacation? Like, have you traveled to any places that you have wanted to while filming, or just local?
I filmed all over the United States. I think my favorite was we filmed near Venice Beach, which was awesome. That whole culture is great. That whole culture of Venice Beach is stuck in the 90s, which I think is really fun. Um, but I've been everywhere. Dylan's been everywhere too.
Nice. So, do you have a favorite location, Dylan?
Um, so I'm stuck between two. I didn't film at Venice Beach, but I filmed in downtown LA. That was pretty cool. But I went to I'm not going to pronounce it right, but Gouverneur, New York. It's like upstate near the border of Canada. We filmed outdoor. It was so beautiful. Like the river, the trees, it was like picture perfect outdoor. I actually enjoyed that more than I thought I would. It was just a very beautiful nature, and so that's the tie between the two. Though one has very cool not party. I'm sorry, cool busy L.A., which I've always wanted to film there, and then there's the quiet, peaceful upstate New York.
So, since you filmed out in nature, I'm assuming, would you like to do like kind of a camper slasher if you had the chance to do it then?
I mean, camper cabin slasher. Yeah, it's just paying homage to like Friday
And
Friday the
13.
13th. So yeah, I stuttered on what. Yeah, I would love to do one of those.
Pretty much anytime people think camping, Friday the 13th pretty much started that.
Yeah.
So,
Granted, the camp wasn't in all the movies. It was around there, but
Right.
I think the camp played more of a part in Sleepaway Camp than it did in those movies.
Yeah.
Because there was a whole bunch of those camping movies back in the 80s.
yeah, kind of followed up after that. Or was Sleepaway Camp before Friday the 13th? I don't know. 80, I'll have to look up dates, but 80s, there were quite a few of them, I
I
guess.
know, I think it's in the third one. They even have a reference to it. Where it's the fishing and someone catches a hockey mask and they look at it and go, you know what yesterday was? Oh, yeah, today was the 14th. It's a Saturday. Yesterday was a Friday the 13th type line. They just randomly find it. It's like, okay, I get the reference.
Well, they have her on the cover. Remember, she had the Jason mask in her backpack and the Freddy Glover, where they were like making fun of that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the movies took the other movies like Night of the Demons took the shots at Friday the 13th. What was it? Freddy and Jason uninvited or whatever. Or were invited but are too scared to show up.
do you both either have a favorite parody or crossover kind of like that in a horror movie?
Freddy versus Jason is definitely my favorite. Yeah.
Not as at least that fight scene was a little bit better than the cartoonish one we got in AVP. Just grabs him by the tail and throws him around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, what other is there any like sort of references that we could see from The Boy Below? Anything like that? That's like kind of a Easter egg that we could like maybe expect.
I think it's more fun to
Um,
not I think it's more fun not to know about them, and then
Well, I mean, not really know.
them
I mean,
down
what
the
it is, just be like, is there? Do you
Yeah.
think there's? I mean, I'm not asking like what particularly. I just mean like, should we keep an eye out for Easter eggs?
Oh, there's definitely going to be Easter eggs throughout the whole movie. There's already, I mean, this is common knowledge, but we've commissioned the man who built the truck for Jeepers Creepers. He's building a truck for our villain, the boy. So,
Ooh,
Okay.
yeah.
that is a cool truck. That's a creepy truck.
It's a creeper
Yeah.
truck. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're on the road and all of a sudden you look behind you, you look in your rearview mirror and you see that thing behind you. Oof.
That should be interesting then. If
No,
it's
thank
the same
you.
person, yeah. So the boy from below should have an interesting vehicle then, and that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun movie.
And when did you say it started shooting? After I know you still got the Kickstarter, which we linked and all that.
Yeah, and I'll put the link for that too in the description. Dude.
That we're going to be shooting that in March. That'll be March.
All right. Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. And once it comes out and everything, you know, you're always welcome back. And once we can talk more about it, so once it's been released a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to talk about once it comes out.
Oh, yeah. Do you know, though, I'm assuming they'll probably show it at festivals first, or is it people who get the perks, is a DVD one of them, or?
Yeah, Blu-ray. There's also like the VHS version, I think, of the movie on the perks. I'm not quite sure about that one. That might be a lie. But yeah, it's probably going to go to a couple fests before worldwide release. I know that Tori is aiming for a theatrical release, so it'll probably go to a fest, hopefully win a few awards, and then it'll probably be open to the public. But the people who bought the Blu-rays aren't going to get the Blu-rays until it's open to the public.
Yeah,
At least,
says
or
that,
at least like right before.
Yeah, it says October 2024.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
VHS too. Ooh, I like that VHS cover.
Mhm.
Well, that's the name of the movie in a VHS. That's kind of a cool artwork. Ooh, those. Ooh. That's
It's like
cool.
good stuff.
That mask though. There's something about that mask, that image where you only see half the face and you got that eye just like staring out at you.
Yeah,
I
he's
like
a
that.
scarecrow, is what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that's like a burlap sack type look.
Yeah.
That's a good shot of it though. Again, like you see half face and it's that one single eye just looking out at you.
Yeah.
It's a creepy photo.
Oh yeah. It works. And oh, I see they even got an image of him here on it. Ooh. I like that.
Who is playing the boy from below? Is it announced yet or not yet who the killer is?
It's the same person who played Colin Miller in The Wicked One, Jack Norman.
Oh, okay, that's right, because you did say it was a reimaginary of it. Gotcha.
They have a picture of him on the Indiegogo, and damn. The hood, the mask, looks like a flannel. Ooh. I like that.
Nice. So what's your idea of a perfect killer?
Somebody with a good fleshed out story and physically able to overcome his victims.
How about you, Dylan?
One that's just not overly cliche. I mean, obviously you want your horror like. I wish that you can combine certain aspects of every slasher into one. Like Jason's brutality, like Michael's just creepy presence, and Freddy's like if you can combine them all, that'd be really cool. But I mean, at the end of the day, just a killer that makes sense. His backstory is all fleshed out, and one that actually that I would want to buy the mask for, or that I would like showing off.
Yeah.
So as long as the killer makes sense and it's not one of these like he does it for no reason. Well, that doesn't make any sense, unless he's a sociopath or psychopath. Like every killer has pretty much, I think, today had a reason why they did it, or something happened to them. So as long as it makes sense, that's all that matters.
True. I mean, there's been some good female killers out there too. Oh,
Yeah.
Angela. I think was there two Angelas?
A couple Angelas, yeah.
Yeah. Camp, Sleepaway Camp, Night of the Demons.
American
Lou.
American Mary's a good one.
Mary Lou's my favorite.
Mary Lou. So, do you prefer in a movie? Do you enjoy being killed, or would you like to be the final person in it?
Oh, that's a hard question. I think it just depends on the story. Because, I mean, a final girl is only so interesting, as she's only as interesting as the people she gets to act against. So, I mean, like I said, I like being covered in blood. So if that means I have to die, then kill me.
Being killed is fun. I must admit, yes, it is fun getting killed.
If you had a chance to play the killer, how would you like your death scene to go out if you were the killer? When you finally get off by the hero or the final person.
I don't know. My mind kind of goes to the Scream franchise and how all their deaths were extremely personal because they knew the victims. If I was the killer, I'd want to die while I was looking them in the eye.
Ooh. What about you, Dylan?
I kind of, if I was a killer and I was going to get off by the hero, I would want it. I would. I'm going back to Halloween real quick. How Laurie Strode and Michael, so many years of him just torturing her, and she finally got the upper hand on him. And the way she did it was like took the mask off, cut him, sliced him up, whatever. And it wasn't really over the top, but it was enough where Laurie finally got him, and he couldn't do anything about it. I would want that vengeance, the final, like, I've had enough and I got you where I want you. That's how I would want to go out. It's like I've tormented this person for so long and they're finally getting this back on me. And he got caught off guard. I don't know if it's because he was old, because in that final movie he was kind of moving slow. Yeah. But no, it's just like I would want to go. I would want to be taken out by revenge, because at that point I deserve it.
Well, I went and saw H2O in the theater. That his death scene in that, standing ovation. It got quiet and everyone started standing up and clapping. And then we got upset when the next one came out and it was like, oh no, that wasn't him.
Yep. But a whole switcheroo on us, like, oh man.
Like everybody was just like, it was really quiet, and then all of a sudden you start to hear people clapping, you're looking around and everyone's doing it, standing up and they're clapping. It's like, that's only time I've been in a theater where a movie's got that kind of reaction. It had people standing up giving a standing ovation.
Yeah. What else going on? So when you're not acting, what are any other hobbies or interests or talents or anything fans might not know about you that you can share?
Let me see. I love drawing, hiking, anything creative, anything like that. I'm kind of a boring person, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm not on set, I'm just usually by myself. So
you have any drawings you can show us, or not at the moment?
Not at the moment. I'm not home. I'm at my mom's house for the holidays, so I don't have anything I can show you. Speaking of, I apologize. This will have to be my last question, just because
Okay.
I have another podcast I have to go on right after this. I'm so sorry.
No, that's
okay. Sorry.
But yeah, I wish I could show you some stuff. I'll send you guys some stuff. I'll show you some stuff.
Cool.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll hopefully see you again in the future once we get to see everything and have more to talk about.
I would love to come back on and talk to you guys about
I'm
what
definitely
you watched.
looking forward to seeing this movie, because I've seen the image of him on the Indiegogo. He looks awesome, and then here, video store 90 VHS. All you had to say was video store 90s VHS
slasher. Yeah, we're there.
You won me over.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for having me on. Dylan, have fun. Treat these men well. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I'll see you
Yeah.
guys later.
All
Take
right,
care.
take care.
Bye.
Bye, Spanner.
All right. So, how about you? What do you enjoy doing?
So in my free time, I also do writing. I write my own scripts. I actually have 3 feature films fully written. I'm just kind of sitting on them, seeing what I want to do with them. It's kind of a hobby more than I like to produce my own stuff. But outside of that, I do mixed martial arts and boxing as well. I don't compete anymore. I just do it to stay in shape, keep my skills sharp, because it does help out with the acting as well when you have your own stunts.
Mm-hmm.
And if if you have a play a character who's gonna be like a jock, having an athletic background would help you out.
Oh yeah,
And
100%.
in terms of you
It
said
saved
you
my.
write, yeah. In terms of like you said you write, what do you draw your ideas from when you write?
So depending on the genre, because I don't write just one. I've written horror. I've written timepieces. I'm working on a comedy right now. I have it in my head, and I kind of just like, for example, I'm writing right here. I'll turn my TV on. I'll have that same genre playing just to get my mind in the flow of things. Like I wrote my own slasher. I played Halloween. I played Friday the 13th. For my timepiece, I played more like Western films, like with Clint Eastwood. Um, not for the idea of the film, but just like to see the visual kind of helps me push that onto the paper.
Hmm. I've done a little bit of writing, just haven't done it in a while, and I never thought about doing it like that.
Have the TV on there. That's a new way that I've heard. I mean, people all have their different methods, and I'd have to say that's
Because
the first.
we were given an exercise in 7th grade where they would give us a picture, and we had to write a story based on that picture, which is a cool
Okay.
little exercise. Who knew the sound of a freezer running really loud would can inspire me one time to write something that loud? Like, okay, let's write something.
Kind of like that one movie, The Hum, right? It's like that's how they got that idea. Humming.
Do you have any like favorite like writers out there?
I'm not really well versed with names, sadly enough. I mean, there's one, Dave Filoni from Star Wars, because he kind of saved the franchise, in my opinion. He's one. I don't know many like writers like that. Sadly enough, I probably need to do more diligence in researching them.
So you said depending on the genre of what you're writing, what TV shows or movie, what other shows inspire you, or do you like to watch in general?
So currently, I'm actually watching The Resident on Hulu. It's that like one of the doctor shows. Um, I watched The Walking Dead, as you know, I wore the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Any Star Wars TV show I've watched, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Um, there's so many TV shows. I watch 13 Reasons Why. I watch Riverdale when I wrote a teen drama. So like I guess it's just stuff like that. Like I mean, if I just type in what I'm wanting to write, I'll see it. Now 13 Reasons Why, that was a big deal because the book we all read it like in middle school, high school, and then the show came out. That's why I watched that one.
Mm-hmm. It was let's see what else I was trying to think of. I was saying say something with the TV show, and yeah, I'm kind of out of it today.
Well, here's one with TV shows. Favorite TV show theme song.
There we go.
Oh God, don't do this to me. I don't know. I to avoid the awkward quiet or silence, I'll put thought into it, and I'll get back to you on that one, just to avoid the silence.
While you're thinking, we'll play the Jeopardy music.
No, don't do that to me. No, now I'm anxiety.
It's like
I mean, it's like that show in the '80s, Great American Hero. Great theme song. Great theme song.
Right.
Happy show. I don't know if you ever watched it. Basically, the guy gets a power suit from the alien. Get the manual. Don't lose the manual. Not even 5 minutes after being leaving the aliens. Oh, I lost the manual.
Lord.
And the first episode of the pilot, one student wants to kick his ass, the other wants to sleep with him, and he's got to worry about how do I use this suit which I can't get off, and I lost the manual. What am I supposed to do?
Oh my gosh.
My older brother was a fan of that, and I go, I'm gonna sit down and watch this show. I didn't even finish the first episode, but I had to turn it off. Like, I gotta ask him. I gotta ask my brother, what was wrong with you?
It's like I might just have to go watch a couple of clips or go back and watch some of it.
It's awful. Got William Cat.
Yeah, I know it's got William Cat. Yeah.
I just thought of a TV show theme. Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That was a great show, but then the way it ended, I was like, wow. I was disappointed with the ending.
Didn't the writer wasn't too happy with it or something?
So I think I could be wrong. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think because like he hadn't finished the book or something, so the writers just ended it their own way. I think I heard something. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Because it wasn't Martin who wrote it, but I don't know. I know people were like, I think they were like trying to write it in to get them to change the ending. It's like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna go back and film and reshoot an entire ending.
Well, there's a lot of shows that had like either weird endings, or dumb endings. I mean, Roseanne, the original ending. It turns out most of the stuff in the show didn't happen because Dan died and she sat there writing it.
Yeah, she wrote it. Like it was at the point at the heart attack, so he didn't live. And then the whole season, like them winning the lottery and all that, stuff that she wrote in the story.
And there was one where it turned out it was some kid's imagination because of a snow globe he had.
What was that?
Some show from the 80s. At the end, the final scene is some kid playing with a snow globe, and it's a copy of the location the show was in.
Oh. I don't know the name of it. I know you're talking about though. Oh my gosh. It's a weird ending. Like, I don't get it.
But the ultimate what the fuck moment ever on the show goes to Dallas. Wasn't an ending. It was that he died, and then the season later, she goes to the bathroom. And there he is, alive in the shower, and it was the whole season was a dream.
Was a dream, yeah.
That's so annoying.
That's one of those. What a dream! A whole season. I invested my time emotionally getting into this season to find out it was all a dream.
So regarding TV shows, here's a good question for. Well, besides stupid endings to TV show seasons, is there any TV show that you got really invested in and then it's canceled and you don't know what's gonna go on after the cliffhanger? You just hate that.
Oh my!
Like you love the show and it just.
Yeah.
Thankfully, a lot of the shows I watched did not get into that. There have been other projects that weren't movies and TV shows, like more video games, that kind of got onto that, where they release half of it and then just stop making the rest of it. It's like, wait, no, like you can't do that. I don't think any TV shows that I did that though.
Legends of Tomorrow was one.
Legends of Tomorrow. Oh,
she gets abducted and show's canceled. What, are you gonna finish it up on the Flash?
No.
Lucifer. It almost happened to them. Thankfully, Netflix picked them up, but they canceled that one. I'm like, wait, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna be so mad with Lucifer. Oh my god! But at least they picked it up on that.
Right, I was so like when it first announced they canceled it. I'm like, I'm pissed. That was such a great show, man.
Oh yes. Did you see his cameo in the Arrowverse?
That was cool.
Yeah, he was in the nightclub. They walked up and he walked up and gave him a coin or something.
He did Constantine,
like
yeah.
He kept saying his name wrong.
Yeah.
It's like it's Constantine.
Yeah.
He
Tom Ellis is
looks at the one guy. He looks at the one guy, tall, dark, and angry with me. Reminds me of somebody.
Tom Ellis is awesome.
Yeah, it was an awesome show.
At least they ended it well. Oh yeah,
Right.
Man said the show The Richest with Eddie Izzard. That was a good show, and then the way it ended, it was like, what? It made no sense. They didn't talk about it.
And that's what you hope when a show, we saw that again with going with Lucifer. When it ended, we saw a streaming service pick it up. When a show ends, you would hope at this point now, please, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, whoever, pick it up, please.
Well, they brought back Futurama, so that was good. So
how many years later?
A long time, but still. And it's funny, they did an episode on binge watching, and he watched like every single. He got trapped in the machine, so they had to make the show continue, otherwise he would die. So they're like trying to record the show live for him and everything. And then at the end, they were talking about binging is not good. If you do binge, you should do no more than 10 episodes, and that's how many new episodes there are. So like they're saying only binge the 10 episodes.
Yeah, but see, sometimes it's kind of good if it's something that was bad. Going with games, Mass Effect Andromeda wasn't well received.
Oh yeah,
and that ended with a cliffhanger. It's like, no, we're not going to go that direction. So if it's a bad one, and it gives you a cliffhanger, you're just like going, please no, no, it's not going to happen.
Well, do you know the game, the Telltale Walking Dead series?
Mm-hmm.
So the final season, season 4, the main character Clementine, who has been there since season 1, grew up. You see her grow up and all that. The episode it left off, it was 4. Episode 2 ended where her friends got captured and brought to somewhere else.
Yeah,
and they canceled it. So you don't know what. And the kids just watching after. I'm sorry.
That was because Telltale, if I remember right, they went down, didn't they?
Yeah, they went down, and they said they weren't, and then no one's going to pick it up. They basically said, "Okay, we're done." But the fans got so riled up that Telltale sent in a few employees just to finish it, and then they released it, and then they fully closed down. Forget that.
Because they did that and the Batman and some other ones.
Borderlands, Batman, Walking Dead, Guardians of the Galaxy.
They were doing pretty good, but
Game of Thrones.
I think that some people were hoping to have her on one of the shows at one point.
Who? Oh,
That the
Clementine?
character on one of them. There was something said about that. Either she would never be on there, or if they did it, would they ruin her?
That's what my fear would be, is like, would they ruin that character? Because the Telltale series and then the TV series are completely different, like, same universe, but different timelines. Like, they're over here. Right, they're just different areas, and the characters, I don't know if they would mesh well. I'm pretty sure they would just kill everybody to that point.
Would we be happy to see the character when she does appear, if she were to appear? Would she be a total bitch, or what would they do?
Right.
I heard that the new Walking Dead game, like, people are disappointed with it, like the way the characters are. Have you heard about any reviews of the new Walking Dead game?
I've seen some images.
What's the new one?
There's a new one. I've seen some images, and they show somebody who's supposed to be Rick.
I guess they like mess up the characters or the storyline. Like, people are complaining. They're like, "This is horrible." Like the way they put the story together, and
well, it's like when they take a comic book or a cartoon and they turn it into a live action movie. Watch how people react. Look at every time they cast Batman. We don't like this guy. We don't like that guy. The complaint about Hugh Jackman. Wolverine's short. Hugh Jackman's not. It's just people being picky and poking at things.
Yeah.
You're not going to find you're not going to find a 5'8" hairy guy to play Wolverine. But that also goes to dream casting, though. Have you ever done that before? Like, in your head, done dream casting of characters?
Like like current characters, but put a different actor there,
or
like characters that have not been.
Yeah, like if someone were to play Clementine, who would you like?
Oh god, that's I would have to actually research that because I don't know many actresses that look like Clementine though. Like off the top of my head, at least. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot out there. I just don't know.
And what was it that
You know
Star
who
Wars
actually-
one? That Star Wars one, that new one with what's the name? Vader's apprentice. The
Ahsoka?
person who plays that Thorn or Thane or whatever. It's the guy who voiced him. I think they were saying.
When that happened, I dropped everything. I'm like, they actually brought the guy who voiced him in, which that was the main thing about Thrawn. His voice was so powerful.
Yeah, but did you know that Mark Hamill's Joker technically does appear in a sense in a live action TV show?
Wait, what?
In the 90s, in the 90s when they did the Birds of Prey show, watch the beginning when it shows Joker shooting him.
Oh, and the Birds of Prey, yeah.
It's not Mark Hamill physically playing him, it's Mark's voice. They got him to come in and voice the Joker for that. So in a sense, his Joker does appear in live action.
That's awesome.
And actually, Birds of Prey, I saw, is on Tubi right now, so you can go and watch Birds of Prey. That's a show I wish they didn't cancel, like the way that ended. I mean, I was like, oh, come on.
Well, we did see her. We did get her brought back for Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, briefly. Yeah, but still.
But yeah, he does. If you watch it, go to that scene, listen to it. That's Mark Hamill. Because I guess they decided.
I'm about to watch that.
They're like, we don't. They said why. Either they didn't like the guy doing the voice or something. They're like, get Mark. Get him on the phone.
Mark, we need you as the Joker.
Yeah. It's just a few lines. Just come in and say whatever he has to say. Which was awesome.
So there's a situation that was something like that, but kind of reverse. And it's actually completely opposite a horror film. Do you know the Bumblebee movie?
Yeah.
So Peter Cullen voiced Optimus, but they only hired him for one day. So they had a different guy say the lines, and they animated Optimus around that guy's lines. And Peter Cullen only came in just to voice it, but he couldn't do it his way because the animation already looked a certain way. So he had to do it the same way the other guy did it. So they didn't give him the creative freedom of Optimus Prime.
You know, some people were upset because he just had a birthday not that long ago. He was, 70 or 80? And there was people who were like, maybe he should retire. And some people were like, maybe he should retire. Hey, if he still can do it, if he's still having fun, bring it back. Let him voice the Predator again. I had no idea.
I don't know how
he did that until he did some convention and he talked about having to do that, and they had to bring the mic down, the sound engineer was like, I can't hear. He's like, bring him down here. It's like, who would have known? It's like, who would have known that Fred Jones, Dr. Evil, and Megatron are the same person?
Right.
Yeah.
Hell, and Killjoy. You ever seen the Killjoy movies?
I have not, no.
Well, okay, the first Killjoy movie, there's this homeless guy in it who's supposed to know all this stuff. Help him fight Killjoy. You look up I forget his name, the actor's name, but you look him up. He not only voiced Devastator in the old 80s Transformers cartoon, that's Destro. That's the guy who voiced Destro in the 80s cartoon.
Really?
It was like, this goes to when I did the review, I'm like, it's Destro. Forget Devastator, it's Destro.
Right, it's Deathstroke.
Yeah. You know who I was going to say for Clementine? I don't know how she looks now because it's been a couple years or whatever. But if you watch Stranger Things, the one kid's sister, that like when he sings Neverending Story, she's like, get the goddamn number. The sister, she kind of might be a good role for that.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about. I mean, it depends on which Clementine. Are we talking about season 1 Clementine or season 4 Clementine? Because there's like a 5-year difference between that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, probably the younger one. Unless how she looks now, older. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen I don't know what she looks like right now, but maybe as like the younger version, maybe.
Well, if you had a chance to play one of these characters in a live action show or movie, which one you would like to play?
Like in anything, or just like the Telltale Walking Dead games, or
Anything.
oh god. Honestly, this might, it's not much from like bigger projects. I would love to reprise the role of Jekyll and Hyde and make it a full length feature. I don't
That's
really know any character I want to play.
that's actually a pretty cool character who you can see his inspiration and other stuff. Two-Face, look at Two-Face.
Yeah.
It's kind of an inspiration. You can
Yeah.
see like a link between the two. The mild-mannered lawyer and the psychopath who would rather gut you than defend you in a court of law.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you look at it, Venom. You have Eddie
Venom.
Brock as the brilliant thing, and then boom, he wants to eat people's the livers and rip the arms and leg off and leave them rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
In the wind.
Yes, in the wind. Don't forget that. In the wind.
In the wind. The one scene I've always looked that and liver, young, lung, liver, kidney. So much to choose from. Where do I start?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, so many snacks a little time or something like that. Yeah, man, that first movie.
But yeah, a lot of characters you can see when you look at some of these. When you think about it, you can see like that Jekyll and Hyde inspiration to go from being one thing to another.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool character. Surprising we don't see this much with them. I can't remember the last time I seen anything with that.
The Mummy movie with, I think, Tom Cruise.
Oh, when they were going to do the MonsterVerse at one point.
Yeah, and that didn't pan out well.
They ended that. They're like, nah.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen did that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a cool character. It'd be nice to see more done with him. Finally, it's been a while since really seen. I'm sure there's something been done, but I can't think of anything.
Not recently.
It was a lot of fun to play.
I mean, the things again, things inspired. You can definitely see inspired, but like, just can't. And then there's that video game, that famous video game that James Ralph does not like.
Which game is that?
There's an old Nintendo game, Dr. Jack and Mr. Hyde, and the Angry Video Game Nerd. It was infamously he's reviewed it a few times, and he does not hide his disdain for it.
And it was on Nintendo? Trying to remember a Jekyll and Hyde for Nintendo. I don't remember a Jekyll and Hyde on there.
You might be one of those who knew about it. Maybe you played it and now you block it out.
Could be.
Just watch the Angry Video Game Nerd's reviews of it. He does not hide. He does not like that game.
I'd have to see like clips of it or something if I played it, because that's almost like it had nothing really to do with it. It was kind of dumb. Remember the Friday the 13th Nintendo game?
Oh, he's left to me, so I have to go left to get him. Wait a minute, I was going right the whole time?
So I played the Xbox version of that, but not the Nintendo one.
Yeah, that newer one, which they will be turning the servers off for early next year.
I think it's actually later. I think it's this year, actually.
Yeah, because Gun Media's rights to the online Friday the 13th game expires next month, I think they said, and they're going to try to keep them on until some point in 2024, and then they're going to turn it off. But they're going to keep them on for a bit.
Well, I think they just released the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one. Yeah, not just, but like a couple months ago.
Yeah, the most recent. Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for Killer Clowns. So
that looks like it's going to be fun. Killer Clowns. Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be a clown and throw pies at people that milk them?
That's a good question. What horror game would you like to see made? Since there are certain.
And take in mind, they are all working on Dead by Daylight.
See, I play that game like religiously. Well, that game is very fun. Man, if I pick one game to be a movie, oh man.
And that's
actually,
that's doing Dead by Daylight.
They're killing it right now. They're
No pun
killing it.
intended, right?
Actually, right. Actually, I think it's more. There's a character in Dead by Daylight I would like to see a movie about instead of the game, and that is the Huntress.
Well, they have
I
that
just because
character
her whole
yeah, the Huntress story. What was her story again?
from what I remember is like she killed a lot of it's a Russian lore. She killed a lot of she was trying to protect some kind of girl, and she killed a lot of men that was trying to get to her. And there's nothing really specified on why. Her name was Anna, the Huntress's name. I don't know everything about it, but I just know that she was done wrong in her youth, and she was killed, and she came back, and she protects little girls from anything at that point. It seems like.
Well, it's going to be interesting because it was Blumhouse. I forget who else was working on it. It's going to be interesting to see what killers they're going to put in there. They can't put the no Michael or whoever Freddie or whatever one. None of the copyrighted ones. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do it and what characters are going to be in it.
They're probably going to do
I would
the
like to see an
Trapper, which is
Arctic. I would like to see an Arctic Clown. That would be awesome if they put Art in there.
Art the Clown. That'd be terrifying.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Well, one character they finally put in live action was in that last Resident Evil movie. What's her name? That girl that had the cuffs or whatever. Oh fuck! She's got when they're in the orphanage, she's got all these rags and she's just hiding her face. She's got and she just kills she kills that liquor like it's nothing. And it's give her own movie. Oh, a character like that. A character like that, because that would be scary. Again, when she kills that liquor, it's like I'm done.
Yeah.
It's here's this creature that was terrified in all the other movies, and here's this girl that comes in just dead. Now, who's terrifying? You are.
Yeah. That new Resident Evil movie. I don't know if they're supposed to be making another one or what, because the way it ended, I think they were going into the city or something, or out of the city. What was it?
Out of the city.
They were going out of the city. Yeah. So
because it follows loosely the plot of the first two games.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't mind having more Silent Hill movies. I think that the original ones were absolutely fucking terrifying when I was watching them. So I wouldn't mind more of those.
I think, aren't they supposed to be doing one next year? I thought I heard they were doing another Silent Hill. I thought.
I did not know that.
Well, I know there's a new Silent Hill online game.
I swear I thought it's something, whether they're going to start filming in 24 or if it's coming out, but I swear I thought I saw something, unless it was a game. But
my favorite scene from those movies is from the first one, when Pyramid Head just picks that girl up, one hand just rips her skin right off.
Oh yeah! Oh god, that makes me cringe. I saw. Oh,
it's oh, damn! That's a he's a big scary guy, and he can just be boom.
Yeah, that solidified the brutality of that kind of series. I'm like, oh my gosh. The scene that freaked me out the most is when, I don't know what it was, but the dude was or somebody was to the hospital gurney or whatever, and those chicks that only move when they hear you. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
The way they moved, I'm like, okay. Oh my god.
I'm trying to remember if that's the second one or. There's that scene from the one game that with Pyramid Head doing something to one of the nurses or the mannequin that people have talked about for a long time, saying that he was having sex with it, but they've been no, he's butchering it or something. It's well, not what it looks like. You know that town, of course, is inspired by a real town.
Really?
Yeah, it's Centrella, Pennsylvania. And there was a coal mine underneath there. And this is in the 50s or 60s. They were burning garbage. So they're moving the garbage around, and there was a hole in the ground. And the fire went into the mine. It's still, to this day, burning. And there's barely anyone. They had
I'm not going there.
yeah, people they had trouble getting people to move away. But like, yeah, it's not safe to go there because again, I think they said it's going to be about another 70 years or so that's going to be burning. I think that makes the games and the movies scarier. The fact that it's an actual place.
Right. That's wow.
I found it here. There is a movie. It's in post production. It's called Return to Silent Hill. So
Return.
that Return to
Is it
Silent
going to
Hill.
be? Is it going to be linked? Is it going to be linked to the other ones?
It says when a mysterious letter calls him back to Silent Hill in search of his lost love, James finds a once recognizable town and encounters terrifying figures, both familiar and new, and begins to question his own sanity.
Wait a minute. What game is that? That had James. There was a guy who went back to.
That's not
Oh.
not Homecoming.
One of them did have a guy going back for some reason.
I think was that the second one, looking for his wife or something, or.
I think so.
And there's also right now on Tubi, there is a like computerized Silent Hill. It's called like Ascension or something like that. And that's
there is a new game, and I guess it's like episodic, where you got to pay for the different episodes. For it, that's out right now. I forget the name of it. Some people have been complaining about it. But hey, Konami actually made a game, even if it's crappy. They made one that's not a pachinko. Content. Yeah, it's a not a pachinko game. Oh, that's right. They got the new that whole Metal Gear Solid thing they're doing.
Movie,
I
you
did
mean?
not know they were so.
They were remastering some of the old games or something. There's another character that'd be fun to see in a movie. That Psycho Mantis. Just you know that whole outfit, the gas mask, floating in the air and stuff, and messing with people. You can even do a scene where he messes with the audience.
Yeah.
I know you in row 3. Row 3. I know you got your phone on right now.
Do you know the movie Arachnophobia?
Yes.
See, those are the films I do miss because anybody that's normal will be terrified of that movie because giant spiders. Oh my, no, thank you. Like that movie freaked me out when I was a kid. We don't have those kind of films anymore. It seems like where it's like big spiders, big snakes. You know, it's just
technically
kind of falling the line.
Yeah. We technically we do.
You got the CGI, or I mean, like
you
over
gotta
the top.
You gotta go watch like a lot of like the independent stuff if you want snakes. God forsake, Asylum, and ITN. They do that. Spiders. There was a big ass spider, 3D spider.
Yeah.
There was supposedly I heard rumors of a remake of Arachnophobia.
I don't know why they need to remake that. But,
yeah,
but
it's
such a great.
Yeah, well, you know they can be, but no, they're still doing them. It's just like a lot of the small independent stuff, which means it's not going to look the best. If it's Asylum, it's Asylum.
Yeah,
Lord.
I mean, Lava Lantula. They did 2 of those. Second one's not that good. But yeah. They're still doing those movies. They just don't get the attention like they did. I mean, what's the last big one that got attention? What? 8-Legged Freaks? It's the top of my head.
Anaconda, maybe.
Yeah, for the snakes, yeah, but for the spiders, 8-Legged.
But as for Arachnophobia, though, that's like more realistic. That could have. I mean, in a way, you know.
Well, no, like... was it 3D spider or big ass spider? One of them got a little bit of attention.
Probably big ass spider, I'm thinking.
Yeah. But otherwise, no, you're not gonna. If you want those kind of movies, go to independent stuff. Go to Tubi. Look up on Tubi. They have a whole bunch of them. Stay away from Kingdom of Spiders. If you want to talk about a bad ending, this is a 70s or 80s movie with William Shatner. killer spiders. And at the end, they're like, why can't we look out the window? And it does like a pan up of this miniature that's covered all in spider webs. Cue the credits. It's like, so the stuck in a town covered by spider webs, what happens next?
I can't
Hey,
stand when films do that.
It's got William Shatner in it.
But they never make sequels, so you don't know what happens.
Exactly. They never make sequels.
You don't know what happens.
That is a movie I have harped on because of that ending. I don't recall anything else from the movie other than that ending.
They should make a sequel and have William Shatner in all the years they've been living under the control of the spiders.
It's just like decades later, like we're still.
It's probably been 40 plus years they've been stuck in there.
I know, that's what's so funny. Just kind of like the original cast. Oh man!
To any of the actors who, if they are dead, they're just bones in the corner of the room.
Yeah,
they ate them.
Certain ones survive, certain ones they eat.
Yeah, but yeah, assign them an ITN otherwise. Women. And if you want sharks, look up Mark Polonia.
Just sharks.
Mark Polonia's.
Yep, Mark Polonia.
I did a shark month for reviews, and I'm looking at all these movies, and I say one common thing, and a whole bunch of them: Mark Polonia, Mark Polonia, Mark Polonia, Mark Polonia, Mark Polonia. God damn!
I was joking around. I'm like, yes, we worship the shark. That's our god.
But
there's only 2 shark movies I enjoyed: Jaws series, and then Deep Blue.
And there's 3 of those now. I've only
there's
seen
3 of them.
Yeah,
they made the sequels on straight to video.
The third one was better than the second one, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like Hellraiser in the Chucky series. When they started doing the sequels, they went straight to video.
Oh, right. But I gotta find them. I actually enjoyed that movie.
They do make a triple pack that has all 3, but yeah, it's straight to video. But it'd be nice to see something like that back in the movie theater. Another giant snake.
Great for Shark Week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
snake.
Charlotte was saying Shark Night is good. So.
Shark Night?
Yeah.
Other than the swamp or something, and they got the sharks.
Swamp Shark?
Oh. No, I know what you're talking about. I've seen it. Oh my gosh.
Is that the one with Dolph Lundgren's in that one, I think?
No. It's like these kids are like going to the cabin and then someone's released sharks in the water.
Oh, they release sharks on.
There's a scene where this guy's like on this jet ski riding and all shark just comes out, gets them.
Yeah, there's like a bull shark, there's a hammerhead, and there's even cookie cutter sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. Oh, what is that? I watched that on Netflix. I can't remember what it was called, but that was a good one though. I actually enjoyed that one too.
Would you be into doing something like that, like one of these creature features?
Yeah, I would definitely do a creature feature. I haven't done one. I don't know. I'd be very curious to see what they come up with. Like, is it a giant alligator? Is it a shark? Or they got to go more mythological, like Loch Ness Monster, squid, or megalodon? Well, they already done that one. Never mind.
Have you ever watched the any of the Man-Eater movies? That series they did. What
was that?
Okay, the Man-Eater series ran from in the early 2000s to early mid 2010s, and they're all creature features. There was sharks and goblins. Goblin sharks, by the way, scary. Never look at what a goblin shark really looks like. That's a scary ass thing.
Yeah, their mouth comes out of their mouth.
Oh God, I'm watching this movie. I'm like, oh, this can't be real, and then I googled it. And like, oh, that's scary looking.
Those are terrifying. Oh my.
Best one in the series is Woven, which is about the dragon killing the people.
Oh yeah.
But
Meg Blue, Charlotte was saying, talking about Meg is a good shark movie.
Second one,
I don't hate them.
One thing I knew that when I saw the trailer that that trailer really makes it look all excited, high action. You just knew that the movie wasn't going to be like that.
I mean, obviously you need CGI for that. There's no way you're not going to get around that. I don't hate it. It's not my favorite. Again, Jaws tops it 100%. And that's just kind of hard to beat the OG. Have you all seen the what's it called, Piranha?
Which one?
The original or the new one?
I've seen all of them.
The one with a lot of nudity and a lot of CGI.
Well,
3D or whatever.
Yeah, Piranha 3D. That one.
Because that scene where that girl's like her hair gets caught in the boat engine and just pulls it right off.
Yeah. Well, there's that one. There's the one where there's like paragliding. When the water came up, her lower half was gone. The dude got his really bit off and then bit again.
Spit
and
out.
Oh
out
God!
I'm like,
yeah, Jerry O'Connell.
I'm like,
there was an incident. There was an incident on stream. When I was on someone else's stream, we were talking about that movie, and we saw that I kind of freaked somebody out because I started talking about that scene, how it eats his penis and spits it out, and he's like looking at his lower body. My penis, they ate my penis. And another YouTuber got freaked out about it. He was like, stop it, stop talking about that.
Oh. Yeah, that's one thing in movies when you see stuff like that. It's like, ooh, I do not want that to happen. It's like,
and I didn't care for the sequel though.
I didn't see the
water park, yeah.
And you knew it's in trouble when they decided they had to advertise it by putting up somebody's chest, big boobs on the cover. That could be a bad sign. Because that's what you do to pull people in. You got to pull them in. So how do we pull them in? It means your big boobs.
Yeah.
Boobs sell. Apparently.
And I've seen the original second one. Have you ever seen the sequel to the original, The Spawning? They fly. They fly in that one.
They what?
When they did a sequel to the original, they fly. They come out of the water. They got the little wings and shit. Piranha 2, the spawning or whatever they call it.
It's like, let's just make some flying fish.
That's when you know they're sitting there. Okay, we got to do a sequel. Hey, we need to do something different. What can we do different? Hey, let's put wings on them.
Listen, there are 5 Sharknado movies, so anything's possible.
Isn't there 6? I thought. Is it 5 or 6?
There's 6. There's 6.
Whatever.
There is Heart of Sharkness. There's Heart of Sharkness, which is a mockumentary on it, saying that the Sharknado movie we saw is not the original. And it talked about there was they're like, oh, they stopped us because there was a mishap on the set because the director used real sharks, which kind of killed some people. Watch that one. If someone's not a fan of the series of those movies, have them watch that one and then have them watch the other ones. They'll freaking love the other ones after watching that movie, Heart of Sharkness, which I believe is on Tubi. It's awful. It's like a documentary. The guy's like, the studio won't talk about it, so this guy's like living in the attic, and he's like, of the studio's like, come up here. I got the real film so you can see it. It's like, wait a minute, there's a guy living in the attic of a movie studio? Okay.
Yeah, Sharknado's weird. I don't know, like how they came up with that concept. Like, let's just throw in a.
Well, they for the what anniversary was it? 10-year anniversary they just had?
10, I believe. Yeah.
It is supposed to be remastered, fixed up, new scenes, new CGI. And
no, we don't.
God, I just want to see what they did.
They probably added like one little scene in.
But the Lavalantula is, and what's that zombie series Sci-Fi Channel did? Z Nation.
Oh, okay.
They're in the same.
Oh, I love that show.
It's in the same continuity. They're a couple of the characters appear in one of the Sharknado movies. Oh, it's all the because Lavalantula is in the same way because they cross over. But like there's a line, I guess, in Z Nation, in one of the, there's like zombies in a tornado or something, and someone says, "At least it's not sharks." So it's like Z Nation is what happens
Wow,
afterwards. I want them to do one more movie on truly something. Tie it all together. How does this all come together? Just to be interesting to
well,
see.
Z Nation got canceled too, actually.
Yeah, but like, well, here's the thing about Sci-Fi Channel. Have you noticed? And I love sci-fi. I love a lot of this stuff. Haven, Eureka, Warehouse 13.
Oh, Eureka and Warehouse 13.
Watch how many seasons some of the shows have. I think it goes up to 4 seasons, maybe 4 or 5 seasons per show. They always, even if they can keep going, they stop at a certain season.
They stop on what season was that?
Either season 4 or season 5 will be the final season. Even if they could probably do more, they'll end it.
Yeah, that's true. They do, because it wasn't Warehouse 13 only 4 seasons, I think.
And Eureka, which I love Eureka.
They put that on They put that on Blu-ray, which I'd like to get sometime.
Yeah, but yeah, go and notice they always end it after so many seasons. If you count it, if you look at the shows at the end, just look at how many seasons. It's a common denominator there. If it's a success. And Warehouse 13, awesome show. Eureka, awesome show. Haven, loved Haven.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll notice they always, even if they can keep going, it ends.
I haven't thought about that, but you're right, though. Thinking back, it's about what they are, 4 to 5 seasons.
Yeah. And they could have done something. Take in mind also, Haven, not Haven, but Eureka and Warehouse 13 are the same universe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But again, it ends.
At least the Eureka sort of had an ending, though. You know.
Well, downside to Eureka is the guy that played the sheriff. Look what he's doing now. Maytag.
Yeah.
That's like, I did Haven, I did Eureka, and now I'm selling laundry machines.
Same. You know, he was in an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? He was a ghost.
Colin, what was his name?
Ferguson.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was in C14. Oh, what was it called? It was a jukebox number, and there was a ghost. He was the soldier ghost that appeared, or was in that episode. I forget the whole story to it, but I remember he was the ghost in it.
Well, we're coming up on 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I got to get something to eat.
Oh, well, yeah, it has.
You guys got anything coming up? Any, other than The Boy Below, Dylan, what else you got going?
Next weekend, I'm traveling to Youngstown. I'm filming a boxing movie. So, and then I have another project called Butterfly that is also next year. That's the 2 other projects coming up. That's besides Boy. I've written some stuff, whatever comes of that. So, I think that's it right now.
And of course, me and Steven will be back tomorrow.
Yep. Also here on your channel tomorrow.
Yep, for Clay Zombies. Have you seen that movie yet, Dylan? Clay Zombies?
My friend Alex Caberton, he's a part of all that. I know, and he knows Jake Dolly. So yeah, I've talked to those guys a lot over the years.
Awesome movie. And there's a Christmas special coming out.
So yeah, we'll be talking about that tomorrow.
And
then after tomorrow, we'll be coming back to my channel, and finally, after this stupid SAG strike we've been waiting for, Gabriella Pizzolo, who was Susie in Stranger Things and in Pretty Little Liars: Original Sin, and she's done Broadway, so she'll be coming on next week. So finally,
ooh, big one.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I had to watch the entire season of Pretty Little Liars: Original Sin and watch the whole thing, and then get told, "Oh yeah, we can't interview her." I might have been a wee bit pissed off that I spent all that time watching something, doing this research, and get told, "No."
It just happened right when the strike first. Yeah. So
it's like that's so annoying. You put all this work in, you're researching, you're studying, and then never mind.
It's like first she had to do a movie, and then the strike.
Gonna be honest, Steven. might have done a little bit of the "God damn it, Steven" thing behind the
Hey,
scenes.
I didn't know there was going to be a strike. Like, come on, I didn't plan this. I just wanted you to watch Pretty Little Liars and do all that 10-episode watching, and then just be like, "Ah, she ain't coming." I made it up. It was a joke.
I'm not rewatching it, by the way. Oh, wait a minute.
Well,
I'm gonna have to revise myself, aren't I?
well, she wasn't in it. She was like in flashback, so you can see like which episode she was in and just watch her part. You don't really have to watch the whole thing. But
True. But anyways, thanks for joining me, and again, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And thanks, Dylan, for joining us, and thanks to Spooky for joining us too.
yep.
Be sure to check out the movies, and keep an eye on for news for The Boy from Below.
Check out the Kickstarter for those awesome perks. So, yeah.
Oh, we're supposed to. Again, someone has a comment for you. Someone says you have a resemblance of Chris Pratt.
Oh, that's a compliment. Thank you so much.
So, you're like, hey,
kind of
maybe I'll be
sounds
a
like
singer.
him. He doesn't even kind of
I
sound
sound like
him.
him?
That's what they're saying. Can you give us I'm the Star Lord or something?
I'm Star Lord.
I'm trying to think.
Like
What's a really iconic movie says? What's his line? I forgot. You said I'm Star Lord. I am Star Lord.
Well, no, well, there was a part like he's like, you know, I'm Star Lord. You know, Star Lord. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, where he's like, you know, I'm Star Lord. You know, Galaxy's greatest. Yeah. Like that one, whatever.
Yeah. That.
But anyways, thanks for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Oh, and I'll put the
Thank you
link
for
the Indiegogo or the GoFundMe or whatever in the description.
All right. Thanks again. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.